Hell, like, hi, hey guys. Woo boy, man. Let me tell you, I am not in a great mood right now, and it's because I'm a hungry guy, and I do not plan out my eating schedule properly. So here I am, a little hangry. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Hi, though. We don't have any questions to address, which is fine. So we'll just talk for a little while, and then I'll probably get back to working on my card game. Guys, if you follow my Instagram or whatever, you know that I've begun production of some illustrations and stuff for the card game I've been mentioning for the past few things. I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna fix this a little bit. And yeah, I'm trying to work as earnestly as I can on that before anything comes up that will slow production. So guys, let's say hi to Karen, Wraith, Luke, Chris, Carol, Nikki. Alright, so those are the people that are here. That's good. That's nice. Yeah, so you will be seeing a new segment of, hey Selena, of I Swear to God coming out soon, but I might give you just a little sneak peek of it in that I'll tell you that the subject matter I cover is politics on social media, which, you know, I kind of think it's great that people are expressing their opinions and that so many people are getting involved and they're paying more attention to what's happening in the world around them. Obviously, the controversy is what they're more concerned with right now. Like, you know, I think very few people are actually super concerned with the ins and outs of actual politics, and they're more concerned with winning a fight that they're probably never gonna actually really be able to make a difference in having at all, you know. It's just you just fighting a never-ending battle. And I thought this sweater fit better, but it doesn't. Okay. So let's lay some ground rules for if you're gonna be posting social media stuff that has anything to do with politics. You can have either view. I don't want to sit here and tell you that you're wrong if you're coming from this side or that side or whatever. But I guess what I'm not seeing so much of is political points of view that have anything to do with what politics are meant and designed to change. So, like, a government, I guess I've come under the belief that a government is meant to just basically protect people from the entire rest of the world and circumstances that rise from chaos of nature and stuff like that. You know, you keep a roof over people's heads, and you know, you provide electricity and roads and stuff. It's infrastructure. And so it seems like decisions that you make about how you vote and how you preach and talk and believe should be based more around preventing the loss of money and the proliferation of suffering. You're preventing the loss of money and preventing suffering. And I mean, you could say that those are the same thing. So I guess it's just really easy to get off topic, and what I'm seeing more of is people that are just trying to piss off who they see as the opposite side of the fence. And it's like, well, I would get that if the people on the other side of the fence were actually out to harm you. You know, if they were causing you to suffer, that's fine. But they're usually not. The people on the other side of the fence are usually just trying to prevent their own suffering. Until their agenda becomes, well, no, I'm pretty comfortable. I just want to fuck you over. So, I guess I just want everyone to start thinking about, like, am I saying what I'm saying because I love me or because I hate you? You know what I mean? Like, if you had to do something really shitty to save your own life, or even to just make your life better, if you had to make somebody else's life worse, but it would definitely make your life better, there's an argument there, and I get it. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna do something shitty, and it's gonna make my life better, but, you know, some people are gonna have to fucking take a hit for that. I can see that, but, like, at least have the weights be somewhere equal. If I'm just gonna, like, propose that we destroy an entire, thing, just destroy a country, or a person, or a giant thing that's, you know, been in place for years, or decades, or centuries, what do you gain from it? Other than destroying it, I guess, is what I always want to hear, rather than, let's just destroy it because it's something that everybody else likes that I don't like. If I don't like them and they like this, I want to not have that be a thing anymore. Because, like, you know, just fucking chill out, bro. If it's not hurting you, then, oh, well, it's a slippery slope. It's going to hurt me if I let it keep happening. Probably not. But probably just everybody else is going to enjoy it. And then you can go on not enjoying it. And fuck you. You know what, guys? Fuck that guy. All passionate about our love for our country and that tacos rule. Yeah, Chris, I don't know. I don't know if everybody really does love our country. Because, like, what are you talking about? What are we talking? Like, there's the love of the concept of our country, which is like, yeah, we're all like, we all have freedom, and freedom is a thing, and that's great. And then there's the love of our country in that we love that people live in our country. So, like, what do you value more, a concept or the reality that there's, like, people living here? And that's what kind of messes with me, is that, you know, we'll sacrifice people for things, and then we won't sacrifice things to keep people around. But the other thing, too, is people get real fucking brave. Get real brave with the shit they want to say. And it's like, I don't ever claim to be a nice guy. Like, that's never been my MO, is that everyone needs to like me and I'm always nice to everyone. Because there's some times where I'm shitty to people, but at least when I'm shitty to people, like, I own it. And I'll say it out loud, and I'm willing to, like, if they're like, oh, I'm gonna block you, or I'm gonna fucking unfollow you, or whatever, good. Like, if I'm shitty to you, you should leave. That's what I'm trying to get you to do. Like, I'm trying to get you to get the fuck away from me. So, like, if I say something to you, and you take it as me insulting you, or slighting you in some way, that's probably what I'm trying to do. And that's probably, you know, the best answer for you is to not be abused by me. So go. Get out of here. I'm not going to spend my life trying to convince you why I am the way I am, or why I do the things I do. You should spend your life doing the things you do, not worrying about me. I can't have that right now. I got a phone call coming in from Elvin. from the Nerdbot guy right now, and I can't pick that up, not in front of you, because he doesn't want to be heard. Now, if he were paying attention, he would know that I'm broadcasting on his YouTube channel right now, but he doesn't care about this YouTube channel. That being said, who would be down for a couple of broadcasts instead of doing terrible advice? I may start just doing Twitch streams where I'm just working on art. So, I mean, I don't know what you guys think about, like, hey, you know, how does Loki Hates You do all the things that he draws pictures of? That might be something that I move towards for a couple of weeks, seeing how that goes, since, you know, you guys are here and we're talking about, you know, we're talking about advice stuff, but sometimes, like today, there's just not a lot of advice stuff to talk about. So I end up going on a short rant about, you know, political trolls, trollitical. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Those guys. Sidebar like this as well. Yeah, I mean, Selena, the idea would be that the chat is open. You know, the chat is there, and it's, you know, available to everyone. So, we can still do it. Now that I know a little bit more about how to use OBS, that's a fact. But I'd rather ask you guys, because you're who's here, and you're who's always here. And I don't know. My question is, and my concern about my own abilities is, am I going to be able to engage you as much as I do when I'm just talking? Because that's the real concern, is that I don't, you know, I'm not particularly interested in having you guys just come and hang out while I'm drawing. Like, I'd like to make it entertaining for you. So, we'll try it out. Let's say Monday, 6 p.m. We'll do at least a half an hour of working on Cause Famous, the card game, the tabletop card game, and I don't know, there won't really be any advice submissions, but it'll probably also be on Twitch, so that'll be something. Nikki, go ahead. Let's see what you got, Nikki. If you want to call in, I'll happily send you the link. Let me see what's going on here. Invite. Copy. Cool. Nikki. Where are you? There you are. So, Nikki, I'll send you a link right now. You can call in with your question. There's your link. And you should have that momentarily. But, I don't know. I'd like to see... it's funny, though, because I actually just got an updated version of Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator and all that crap. So, it's like, it's kind of gonna be weird for me to show you guys my process, in that I'm gonna be sort of working with a new tool set. But you know what? By Monday, hey Wraith, happy birthday, buddy. Yeah, it might be a little weird for me to try to do something and show proficiency when I'm working with a new tool set. Hey, Nikki.
Hello.
How's it going?
Pretty good. I had an early shift, so I managed to get home in time to watch you.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. What do you got going on that you want to talk about?
Well, it's a potentially, I won't say ew question, but okay, no, it's not bad. You've talked about this subject before, so it's not that bad.
Is it about powdering your nuts with paprika? Because I mean, we covered that last week.
No, it's not that bad. No, it's about, should one follow the rule, if it's yellow, let it mellow, if it's brown, flush it down.
Oh, flushing advice.
Yeah, because my brother and dad, pretty much, they're not good with the flushing.
Right.
I want to, like, is it just me being picky, or is it they're disgusting?
Okay, so this is a sanitation question and not an environmentally conscientious question.
A little bit of both. We do have a low flow toilet, though.
All right. So either way, I mean, there's some step being taken towards not wasting the maximum amount of water. You've got one of the new age green toilets that doesn't flush the full like 25 fucking gallons every time you hit the button. So I'll tell you right now, I grew up in a house with 3 dudes and my mom. That's my brother, my father, and myself, versus, unfortunately, in the apt term is versus my mom. And there's a lot of toilet related problems that come up when you have 2 genders that use, you know, that particular piece of bathroom furniture or whatever, that bathroom appliance, and it's in different ways. So, oh man, I don't want to get into too much detail about it either, but like, what our policy was that putting the toilet seat down was never an issue. Never missed a beat. Like, that's the sort of sitcom joke, is that some dude forgets to put the toilet seat down, and then the lady of the house goes in a, you know, some sort of midnight tryst to the restroom and ends up sitting directly in the cold water of the toilet bowl, which is a terrible experience. That never happened at my house, and I'll tell you why. Because in my house, we never put the seat up to begin with.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't know until I was, I think, maybe 18, 19 years old, that in other households, men were expected, when peeing standing up, that you were supposed to put the seat up so that, let's call it egress, did not tarnish the very place where you were to seat yourself in other occasions. And so in our house, it was a very common occurrence in anyone's haste, whether it be mine or my brother's or my father's, if we were in a rush and we didn't aim particularly well, it wasn't an uncommon sight to see just gross saturation of the toilet seat, and that is awful. And so the opposite problem of, oh, you didn't put the toilet seat down before or after you finished, the opposite problem was you never put the toilet seat up to begin with, and therefore now I'm sitting in something cold and wet anyways, only the problem is it's not just water. Like, it's human urine, and like, it's gross, and I don't want to sit in or on this, and you monsters are running around pissing on everything, and that's awful. So the flushing thing is another thing, where it's left in the toilet, and I'll be honest with you, my personal take on it is you flush every time. We're not animals, and we're not monsters. Because otherwise, what's happening? You pee in there, and you leave it, and I'm not saying that's you, I'm saying that's, you know, someone else in your household. Then I walk in there, and I pee in there, and then someone else walks in there, and no one flushes for 3 or 4 times, but it's all number 1. Well, there comes a breaking point where the yellow is no longer mellow or yellow. The yellow is brown. And then you do flush it down. But the point between yellow and brown is murky, literally. And it's not an easy line to draw. It's, you know, there's literally a spectrum there. And when it's halfway between, you know, that goldenrod yellow that you see in your Crayola crayons and that straight up flat brown color, there's some like deep ambers and oranges that can happen there. And they are accompanied by a very pungent odor that I think rivals and in some way even I don't want to, there's a word I'm trying to think of and I don't want to say it because it's politically charged.
The ammonia smell.
Yeah, it's like a very ammonia-y smell, and sometimes it could be considered worse than if someone just straight up
laid one,
dropped off a package and, you know, and left it there. Now, so I would say flush every time. If
How do I get them to flush every time?
Oh, man.
Because my brother and dad don't drink enough water, so, you know, it doesn't take at all any time before it gets to the gag zone.
Right. So here's the secret is that when a family lives together, you've got the brother and the dad. You've got, is mom in the household as well?
Yep.
What about sisters?
No, no sisters.
Okay, so there's 4.
2 to 2.
There's 4 of you. Okay, it's a 50-50 split. What's mom think about all this?
She does flush, but she doesn't really have an opinion on the matter.
Okay.
It's mostly the boys with their not flushing. And then they go, "Oh, we're wasting water, it's fine."
Yeah. That's how most of the problems in the world are. It's mostly the boys. I'm going to give you the same suggestion that I gave to... Who was it that I was talking to last week? You gotta have friends over all the time. Particularly if you have any friends that are well-to-do financially, or friends that are from a nice part of town, or friends that are just like I know that if we had company.
Oh, sold it. I'm busy. Sorry.
Oh dear.
I'm getting called on. It's like, no, I already said I'm busy.
Not now, Mom.
No, it was my brother. He was all like, help me cook, and I'm like, later.
I'd say this. If you had people over right now that were esteemed guests of the house, I think people would take extra care to make sure that everything was properly disposed of.
Maybe not.
No, it's just that kind of house.
We're pretty laid back.
What about an Englishman? Do you know any Englishmen?
Oh God, if I did, no.
What would happen if you did? Would that be a problem?
I'd give him a dictionary and tell him just to talk.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So it's one of those situations. Yeah, it's nice to have an accent.
Accents are cool,
I guess. I would say get your most well-behaved and attractive friends and rich friends over to the house as much as possible, and really have them express their opinions to you in as loud a way as possible, and then make it known to your family that, like, hey guys, you know what? I'm trying to have my friends over, and they think that we're animals. They think that we are just the most savage of you know, savages. And I think the fear of perception, because if your brother or your dad go to a restaurant, a nice restaurant, or if they go over someone else's house, I got a feeling they're flushing the toilet. Because they feel like they don't want to be a bad guest, and they feel like they don't want to be called out by the waitstaff at that restaurant for, you know, being garbage people. Walking in there and just being a total monster who does their business and makes it someone else's business. Also, do you have any pets? What's going on pet-wise over there?
I have a cockatiel.
Okay.
And we often take care of my brother's dog.
Okay, what kind of dog is that?
A little dog. Shih Tzu Yorkie.
Oh, this is the
one that likes to bark at me.
Yeah, okay. Does that guy ever drink out of the toilet?
No. A, he's not tall enough, and B, he's so picky. Like, he'd turn his nose up at the toilet.
Okay, well, here's the plan. You get him a little footstool so that he can drink out of the toilet, and then whenever you go in there, you flush, and then you sprinkle like a little bit of like bacon grease or something, just something meat flavored inside the toilet. You know, make sure the bowl is cleanish, not chemically clean, but cleanish, and have that dog get in the habit of drinking out of that toilet, and make it known that when the dog does that, you know, people know that it happened. That way, when your brother or your father leave something in there that's not supposed to be in there, and then the dog comes up and starts licking their face, you can look at them and say like, hey, you know that dog was just drinking out of that toilet, and you left like a real steamer in there. And I think that's a pretty good incentive to not leave anything for the dog to get his mouth around, and then the dog passes that on like a, you know, like some sort of outbreak that could have been prevented. What else can be done? Take pictures of it, put it on Instagram. Does your brother have an Instagram account?
No.
Does your dad?
No. Like, we're pretty much, as far as social media goes, I'm the most with a Twitter account.
Interesting.
Pretty much. Oh wait, my mom does have Facebook, but she pretty much just uses it to look at
porn.
Crochet pattern. No.
Oh, crochet. Oh, crochet. Okay, that was gonna be my next guess. Got it. Man, that's tough. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a camera? Do you have a camera and a printer?
Yes.
Have you thought about making a PP collage?
Not until you suggested it.
Okay. So, any sort of corkboard, a small bulletin board, or even just a blank piece of wall like what's behind me. If every time you see pee-pee or poo-poo inside of the toilet, I think you can take a quick snapshot, print it out as an 8x10, and then staple it to the wall where everyone can see. And it'll become something that people grow concerned over your mental health about. But, when
or it'll become a modern art piece.
Right, exactly.
I could make some money off this.
Yeah, like a Picasso. And you can just take all of that and pin it up on a wall to the degree where every time it happens, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger until eventually it's this enormous murinal. I'm proud of that one.
That one's good.
Then, you know, the rest of the family may take it as, oh, if we stop fueling this machine, then that art can no longer be made. And that may be something to work towards. And it's worth a shot. So either the dog, the pee-pee dog kisses, or...
I wouldn't want to subject Toby to urine.
You wouldn't actually be doing. You'd just be giving him another water bowl to drink out of, and then every time he licked anyone's face,
he throws up enough as it is.
Well, they'll think twice about not flushing after they see him throw up a real dookie nugget. You know what I'm talking about. So think about all those solutions, and have you talked to them? Have you yelled at them a little bit?
I'm not yelled, but like, dude, this is gross. Please flush. And they're like, no, it's a waste of water. And I'm like, no, it's not.
That's not a good... Do you live in an area with a drought?
Oh, God, no.
Okay.
We're right on Lake Ontario.
Okay. So there's no water conservation concerns where you live. You know, there's probably another 35 cents that would be added onto your monthly water bill if you flushed every time everyone went to the bathroom. But that's negligible. Take it out of their hands and be like, you know, once again, this is a political argument where it's like, hey, you're not concerned about the environment. You're just lazy and trying to piss me off. Like, there's nothing to really be gained from me letting you do this without any sort of contest at all. Like, I have to fight you on this. I have to march in the streets. I have to organize and rally because this is injustice, and you are my oppressors. You are my ammonia-smelling oppressors. Now, is it just number 1 they're leaving in there, or are they leaving gifts for
thankfully it's just number 1.
Okay.
But it's, like I said, they don't drink enough water, so it's more than bad enough.
Right. Well, maybe you need to up the ante, you know, do like a nuclear arms race where you're leaving something for them every time. You know, just get a lot of fiber in your system, and every time you bestow something, they have to look at it, and it's something that you can be like, I don't want to waste the water. You know, if you're not wasting water, I'm not wasting water. Let's see who starts flushing first.
I'd lose that race. I'd lose that race so quickly.
Hey man, nothing smells better than your own brew. Like, you know what's going down when you put something in. And it doesn't bother you, but it'll bother them. But the other solution too is
force feed them water when they're sleeping.
No, you don't want them to pee. Just start kicking the flush handle like as hard as you can whenever like just refuse to touch it with your hands. Be like, if you're not gonna flush it, I can't touch it with my hands either. And then just kick it as hard as you can until you break it off. And then there will be like a week where, until a plumber comes, nobody can use that flusher. And then once they can, they will. Just snap that freak off right at the sweet spot. And they'll miss it. They'll miss it enough that for a couple of years at least, they'll keep using that flusher. You gotta be committed, though.
I think I'd better off just sabotaging the inside instead of trying to snap the metal off.
Maybe. But if you make it a statement, they'll know that something was said here. Something... Freedom was defended today. That's what they'll say when they see that snapped off handle. So give it a shot, and we'll check up on you and your various scatological adventures next week. Any progress on that deer head?
Slowly but surely I ended up picking up more hours at work since one of the ladies was on medical leave. So, and both because now I'm working at 2 Hallmarks, and both managers were on vacation, so I was working quite a bit. Yay, work!
Yeah, make that money.
Yeah, so I got a little bit further, mostly the steps that don't really visibly show themselves as being steps. So.
Yeah, it's tough to like kind of divvy that up sometimes, where you want to show people what you're doing, but you also don't want to like constantly be like, I'm doing this now, I'm putting this stitch through this piece of fabric, and I'll do it again and again, and have a picture of every single step. Like, sometimes you want to have some real profound progress before you post again.
At least another chunk done instead of a partial prepared bit. I got some patterns done.
Do you
that's
feel
all
good that
freehand.
You're gonna hit your deadline and stay under budget? Okay. Well,
I'm trying. Well, now that the managers are back, I'm not doing like 8 hours every day sort of deal. So.
Yeah. Well, we wish you luck.
Thank you.
Plug your nose.
Yes.
Stay out of the splash zone. All right, Nikki. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh man. This topic about toilets. Like to eat lunch afterwards. Who am I kidding? Oh, Chris. If you sprinkle when you tinkle, be a sweetie and wipe the seedy. Yep. I missed something. My feed froze. Powder, yeah. Flush it down in any case. That's just nasty. So, guy, Chris wants to know how Adobe works. So, Chris, Adobe is an entire group of programs. I mean, it's a company that makes art programs. So, there's Photoshop, there's Illustrator, there's Premiere, InDesign, Dreamweaver, what is it? Lightbox? There's Bridge. There's so many Adobe products out there. There's Flash, not recently, but Flash is now part of the Adobe suite. Adobe is a group of artistic programs that all work on the basic understanding that everything is created in layers. In Photoshop, you have your background, your midground, your foreground layers, and everything in between. In Illustrator, you have objects that are created by shapes. In web design, you have your nested containers with various buttons and fonts and headers and things in it. So it's sort of hard to explain, but basically it's a system for building creative work. That's what Adobe is, and that's what Adobe Creative Suite is. It's also fairly expensive, so it's a little hard to get a hold of, but there are ways. I'm not going to get into them here in a public forum, but like, you know, if you ever wanted to become a graphic designer, you're probably going to have to be proficient in Adobe products. Can you make video games with an Adobe product? You could make all of the art for a video game in Adobe. I don't know if there's an Adobe programming program. You'd probably just have to use, you know, Python or some other. Basically, any programming that's done is going to be in a window that just looks like Microsoft Word. Like that's how programming is usually done. And you know, there's nuances to it, and there's other tools that can be used. But the 3D modeling can be done in an Adobe product, although usually it's going to be done in a different one. The actual engine that you're creating it off of is gonna be where you do the 3D modeling. But if you want to make something like a platformer, Legend of Zelda, or Contra, that sort of game, you design all your backgrounds in Adobe Photoshop. You'd make all your sprites in Adobe Photoshop and render them out as transparent GIFs or GIFs, whichever you prefer to call them. You can animate things in Flash if you want to make a Flash game. So yeah, you could make a Flash game in Adobe. You could make a video, an interactive video that goes on YouTube that could be construed as a game. There's a lot of different things. Animated GIFs you can make. Yeah, it's all there. Often done. That's what I learned at school. Learned Photoshop and Maya. Is Maya part of Adobe's package? Because I think that's a different... Yeah, that's a different company. So Maya is a 3D modeling program. There's also several other ones. SketchUp, 3D Studio Max, and then all the proprietary things. So keep that in mind. But all of them can be learned in a matter of 20 minutes, but it takes years to master. And I would never claim to be a master, so I can't even really say that with authority. But it takes practice, a lot of practice. Nikki, yeah, things are bought. I don't know. I started with Paint Shop Pro, moved on to Painter, which I enjoyed using. Then I taught myself Photoshop. And they're all basically the same thing. You know, they're all the same principles, just with varying levels of complexity. But if you guys want to do an art thing next week, Monday at 6, let's say, I'm going to be doing some art for the Cause Famous card game. It will be on my Loki Hates You Twitch channel, which, you know, couldn't hurt to make use of now that I've been away from it for so long. Yes, you know what, Chris? Adobe Photoshop is like a more complex version of Mario Paint. That's not a bad comparison. It's a similar situation. So guys, we've been at it for about 40 minutes. I gotta make a run to the post office, and I have to eat. So I'm gonna go and do that, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Because I am mad. I'm a mad guy right now. I'm a mad, hungry guy. Not like in the skater sense, like, yo, I'm mad hungry. I'm talking about, like, I'm mad and I'm hungry. Secret bug swatting game. Oh, yeah, the bug swatting game. I bet you could find some secret stuff in some of the Adobe products. They're around. Okay, guys. I will see you on Monday. No advice for a little while, but we're going to be productive. So in the meantime, miss you. Love you. Bye.